Hello, this is Tim Law with Playing It Forward Coaching. If you will get a solid work ethic, get a marketable skill, develop some people and communication skills, you'll be amazed at what you'll accomplish in this life. I have a very, very cool gentleman here that I'm really looking forward to interviewing him, a guy that we met many years ago on the mats, and he's turned into be a great friend, as most of us are, when we get done with our wrestling careers. A guy named Tony Peraza. So Tony, welcome and great to see you, man.
It's great to see you, Tim.
So I understand you've got a picture there when you were in high school there, as far as the outstanding wrestler within the community.
This is me here, outstanding athletes at Longwood High School, which was also the high school of Kerry McCoy.
Okay.
You remember him?
Oh yeah, Penn State.
So this is me as a freshman.
Okay.
And we had 5 league champs that year, and we won the league. Probably the only year that we did that in my career. But sadly, 3 of the gentlemen on the top have passed.
Wow, just amazing. That's for sure. So, Tony, tell us a little bit about your high school career, college career. Kind of blend those together there.
I started as a 9th grader. I won the leagues the first 3 years. My senior year, I lost to a friend of mine from Longwood in a close final. I did not get a scholarship. He got a scholarship, but I did go on to become a national champion in college.
Right. And now, what?
I do have a pic. I'm sorry. I do have a picture of me going to. I was kind of a hippie in the beginning. I kind of have a picture of me going to chemistry class.
Okay.
At Potsdam State. I'm with Betsy Osterhout, and we're going to chemistry class.
Okay. There you go. Well, your hair's a little shorter now. It's all good.
Yes. Guess what? I don't have much of it anymore.
Yeah. Well, hey, none of us beat father or mother time. That's for sure, Tony. Yeah. Okay. So now, what weight class were you as a freshman?
Freshman, I was 142.
Okay.
And I believe I wrestled you in the.
Well, I'm not. I'm sorry. I'm a freshman in high school.
Oh, freshman in high school, I was 98.
Okay. Yeah.
And then in sophomore, I was 98.
Okay.
And my junior year, I was 112.
Okay.
And I wrestled a guy by the name of Don Jansen in the finals. And beat him 6-1. And you might remember his sons, who I coached at Shoreham, Jesse Jansen and Corey Jansen.
I heard the names. Yeah.
Jesse Jansen was an outstanding wrestler in the NCAAs for Harvard.
Okay.
And I don't think Corey AA'd at all, but he got hurt a lot.
Okay. Then tell us about collegiately. Go ahead.
So I only applied to one school. That was SUNY Potsdam. Coach Don Murray came to my high school and looked at the 5 league champions and told me that I would probably not make his team. So when we wrestled Brockport, I had to wrestle a wrestler who was like a regional champ, Bill Ciccarelli.
Oh yeah, I remember him.
And I beat him 9-7. The only other winner was Joe Gallion, who was my best friend over the years. So we lost to Brockport that year, like 26-6. But at the end of the match, Murray went to my coach. He goes, "Who was that guy, Peraza?"
Yeah. Well, that had to be a nice feeling to win that for sure.
So in my freshman year, I lost my first match to a conference champ, Ed Gerace. We were tied 4-4 with about a minute to go, and he pancaked me to my back, and I lost like 8-4. I won 21 matches in a row. I won the Northern New York, the Sunyak, and the New York State tournament, and I bowed out at the college division nationals in South Dakota.
Okay.
So I went 21-0, and then I ended up being like 22-3, something like that, or 2. I had 2 losses during the year.
Excellent record for a freshman, that's for sure. So yeah, so going forward, I know you started really strong, and overall you had a great career. That's for sure.
My sophomore year, that was much different though. I won the Northern New York, and then I fell in love. And I had a sweetheart who was a year abroad. She was a year older than I was. And so I flew to Madrid, and I traveled and I traveled. We traveled, we partied, and I came back and I was not in such good shape. And the person I wrestled first when I got back from Spain was you, Tim. And Tim, you pinned me, I think, in the second period. And the whole thing was a huge lesson for me. And I did not, after winning the SUNY and the state, I did not place in the SUNY, and I took fourth in New York State.
I got a little backstory on that, Tony. I had heard through the grapevine that you were going to be over in Spain, and I knew we were both attrition wrestlers. I mean, you went on endurance, I went on endurance, and I really thought about that, about you being there. I literally trained like 3 times a day all through that winter break because I knew you and I were going to hit each other. And I thought, man, if I ever going to have a shot at a great wrestler like Tony Peraza, this is my chance, because I knew over there no college guy goes to Europe and trains. Let's face it, you know what I mean? You do what you're going to do, and I get it. And so I had heard that, and I really kicked it into overdrive, because I just knew that the Tony Peraza that had that engine that just wouldn't stop might not be, to the same level it usually was. So in all fairness, as I said to you before, I said, you and I hit 3 times, you beat me 2 out of 3. So, you got the thumbs up on that. That's for sure.
Right. Well, you know what? My sophomore year definitely was a lesson to be learned. And I think the second semester I only got 6 credits. They put me on probation. So my whole college career really kind of went, in the toilets, so to speak. That following year, I learned to meditate, because I had a very broken family life. My parents were divorced. I had 3 younger sisters. I would come home sometimes. There would be no electricity in the house. They'd be living in one room with a heater. So basically, I was sending money home, and it was, the whole thing was very, very stressful for me. My personal life.
Sure.
And I actually had a brother who came and visited me, and a couple of years later, right before wrestling the nationals, he took his life.
Wow.
So I had a very, very difficult home life, and meditation kind of calmed me and helped me deal with the stress. And things started to come together at the end of my junior year. I did not win the Sunyaks. I lost to Tom Maddock, who was an excellent wrestler. As you know, you've wrestled him a bunch of times.
From Rockport,
and
yeah.
He always seemed to have my number, except for one time in which I was victorious. And going into after placing second at the Sunyaks, not wrestling in the New York State tournament because I didn't feel well, we went to the Nationals in John Carroll, and he was the second seed and I was the third. He ends up losing a close match to a DJ Achino from Montclair, and then I beat him 12-4. I make it to the finals. I lose a close match after having a takedown taken away from me. I did a duck. At that time, they had mat judges. They stand on the side. The ref gave me 2. The mat judges stood up and complained. It was blown dead before I could get a knee down. We argued and argued. They took the takedown away from me. They put us back on their feet. I did another duck, took him down again. He escaped, took me down, and won the nationals.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. Only made me work harder because I got that close to winning the national championship.
Sure, sure. So that senior year, everything really came together for you, right, Tony?
Yes. Except for, the family life was still something that I had to deal with. I basically I won the Northern New York, the SUNY Conference, New York State. I was chosen for the East team for the New York State All-Star team, where I had to wrestle Rory Whipple. Now, there's a kind of a big backstory with that. I never placed in my section in high school. I always ran into a wrestler from Lindenhurst or from like Brentwood. My senior year, I lost to Bob Antonacci, who later on I've become friends with, who was a two-time state champ. I used to wrestle him on Saturday because Longwood would visit Brentwood a lot. The coaches were friends, and we would have a close match. But he caught me with that okie finoki, and he pinned me. So I didn't go to the, the place winners dinner where all the college coaches went. I ended up going to SUNY Potsdam. And I wrestled Roy Whipple 4 times. He was the New York State champion.
Yeah, I remember.
My senior year in high school in New York. He was the New York State champion. Yeah. And I'd been placed in my conference. He
was around Irondequoit High School out of my section, Tony, in Rochester. Yeah.
Yes, but I ended up wrestling him in the finals of the state, the finals of the SUNYAC, the New York State All-Star meet where he actually took me down. And I wrestled him in the semifinals of the Nationals. Mm-hmm. And he was a great wrestler. I just maybe just a little bit quicker than him. I was lucky to beat him that many times.
What team was he with, Tony?
He was with Cortland.
Cortland. Okay. Yeah. And then you got later on, you get into we'll go ahead, finish up, how the rest of the season went there, because you obviously, you won the Nationals and everything.
Yeah, well, in the semifinals of the Nationals, I did get a headbutt from, actually, I shot in on him and he lowered his head. I wouldn't call it a headbutt. But I had a black eye and I had double vision after the semis. And a wrestler from another team who I became friends with sat me down because I was on a stretcher with double vision and getting ready to wrestle in the national finals. So Pete Birdie from Binghamton, who became a really good friend of mine.
Yeah, I remember him.
Calmed me down and told me that I was going to be successful. He said, your vision's going to clear. You're going to do well, Tony. So in the finals, I got right away, the guy scouted me. He knew I had a high crotch to the right, and that's all I shot the first 4 matches. Nobody stopped it. And he counted it twice, so I was ahead 4-2. But he started to gas. And you know that I have a gas tank.
Yeah, you had a huge gas tank.
And I didn't shoot any more high crotches. I shot 5 single legs to the left side because I could go either side. And I ended up winning like 11-6. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So I won the Nationals.
Yeah, great accomplishment for sure. Now you've gotten involved as far as the veteran wrestling, Tony, as well.
Yes, one of the NCAA tournaments in St. Louis. I was hanging out with Joe Galea, Pete Galea, possibly Nick Gallo, and a few other wrestlers from New York.
Right.
And we had a little skybox. We were all hanging out. And I believe it was 2001, if I believe correctly. Or maybe it was 2002. And they said, we're going to the Nationals. We're going to wrestle in the Veterans Nationals. I thought this was a great thing. So I was going to go. When I got there, I was the only one of the 6 guys who showed up. The year before, Bob Antonacci went to it and lost. Actually got teched by another wrestler from Comac, who I can't remember his name.
Okay.
Yeah, so I figured I'm going to go. And then I find out I have three national champs in my weight class. There's only 5 guys in the weight, Long story short, I ended up winning the tournament, mainly because I was in better shape than anyone else.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Still had that gas tank, Tony.
Yes, it helped a lot because most of the matches I was losing in the beginning, you know?
Sure. Yeah, definitely. So as far as some of the life lessons, Tony, as we kind of move toward the conclusion here, what are some of the cool life lessons that this wonderful sport has brought? And I absolutely applaud you, overcoming the challenge, as far as the family life and everything. That's not easy. And to your credit, you've created a wonderful legacy for yourself and your family. So as far as the life lessons with wrestling, what would you bring to the table as far as that's concerned? What did they teach you?
Well, I think basically to keep moving. Basically to stay active. And when you give back, like in coaching, you gain a lot.
Mhm,
So I never stopped coaching.
mhm.
Um, Even when I had differences with an athletic director, after getting coach of the year in Suffolk County, I moved on to another high school and then another. And then I went from Comac to Shoreham Wading River to Mount Sinai. And I bounced around a lot. But in the meantime, I hooked on as assistant coach for the Empire State Games.
Mhm.
And try to remember the name of the head coach who took me under his wing. So I learned some freestyle, I learned some Greco, and basically I got to take some of the Long Island's best athletes upstate.
Uh-huh.
And then he retired. I can't remember the year, 2003 or 4,
Okay.
and he passed away like a month later.
Uh-huh. Okay. Okay.
But then for 6 years, I was the head coach. I had to do everything, and I enjoyed it immensely. And having to teach freestyle and Greco, I ended up learning a lot.
Mhm. Sure.
I
Sure.
ended up studying film and ended up going to the Veterans Nationals in 2002, 3, 4, and 5, and winning each time 3 freestyle and 1 Greco championship.
Mhm.
Took
Mhm.
10 years off, and then one of my friends says, "We're going to the Worlds. It's on the island of Crete. We're gonna have a great time." And they have a little fundraiser for us. They raise some money, and I think, oh, I'm not going to place. Maybe I'll get a bronze, whatever. And we get our plane tickets. I arrived before anybody else, but they changed it to Athens, which I did not like very much. I didn't like Athens. I thought we were going to be in an island paradise because my friend had a house on the island of Crete. Here I was in a hotel room by myself a couple of days before anyone else arrived, trying to switch my cash into euros, which I was having a hard time with. Long story short, I had 4 matches. No one scored a point on me. My first match was actually my silver medalist from Kazakhstan, and I teched him 10-0 in about 1 minute and 30 seconds.
Wow. Wow.
I'm walking through the city of Athens, and I get surrounded by about 15 Iranian wrestlers. They look at my medal. I tell them I'm an American, and they say to me, "Can you help me get to America?"
Wow. Wow.
And I kind of just smiled, and right before I went on to the victory stand, which is at 1 o'clock in the morning, by the way, that's why they had no pictures of me on that day. I just started to cry.
Mhm.
Besides the birth of my children and my marriage, my most important moment,
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Huge moment.
I want to show you something here.
Sure. Sure. Go right ahead.
I don't know if you can see that.
Oh yeah. 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 I see it.
See
You're
the title on the bottom?
brain power. The Perezas are one of the 5 sets of siblings to take top honors at LI school. And who's the young guy in the middle? Oh, that's you. Yeah, got it. Yeah.
Well, that's 2 of my 3 sons. Anyway, I want to show you one more picture with all 3 of them there. There's another article the same year.
Okay, super. Siblings create smart trend at Shoreham Wading River. Awesome.
So I have a valedictorian there, a salutatorian, and number 5, and all 3 of them went to Cornell University and got degrees.
Wow.
And
Wow.
Michael, my oldest, also got a master's there. And there I would go and I would roll around with Rob Cole.
Yeah, the longtime coach. Yeah.
Yes, so that was really nice.
Yeah, you'll have to share this. You'll have to share this with Rob. I'd love to do an interview with him. So see if you can set him up for me. Okay.
Yeah, I'll talk to him.
Yeah,
He's a
great.
great guy. You know what? I was surprised. I didn't expect him to let me on the mat, but
Yeah.
he would let me work with a wrestler, and then he and I would go, and he would kick the crap out of me.
Rob
He would
was
kick the
no
living
joke,
crap.
man. He was tough.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, he made the world team, right?
Yeah, there's enough said, right? That's for sure.
So the end of the story is Before I left Athens, there was a world champion from Germany. He took his finger and put it in my chest and goes, "I must wrestle you in Poland." So he put his finger on my chest and he challenged me. And guess what? A year later, he and I was a pigtail in the world championship match.
Wow. Wow.
But it was just basically free draws. There's no
Yeah.
seeding in the worlds.
Yeah, you can't see it.
There was about 9 wrestlers in the thing, and the 2 world champions had to wrestle first match, and I teched them 10-0.
Wow. Wow.
And then I wrestled an American. I pinned him in about 30. Then I wrestled a Hungarian, and I pinned him in about a minute. And now I had only slept about 2 hours because of the jet lag, which I couldn't seem to escape. I
Sure.
wrestled the Mongolian, and we had a close match. I beat him, I think, 7-4.
Okay. Okay. Very
I,
good.
I,
Very
at
good.
that point, I was about hallucinating from lack of
Sure.
sleep.
Sure. Understandable. Well, Tony, this has been great. I super appreciate it. Can you hang after we close this up here?
Okay. I'd like to get some feedback. Maybe I spoke too much. I don't
No,
know.
no. It's all good. All good. It's excellent story. You've had a long career on this right here, and no, everything you said was super. Yeah, we went a little long, but it's all good. I'm not worried about it one bit. I think it.
Okay. Are we off air now?
No, we're still on. So just
Okay.
just hang in there, and but thank you for this. This was great.
I really appreciate it. Anytime I can give a little bit of light to the veteran wrestlers, and maybe next time I'll talk more about my training partners and the people that really supported me
Mhm.
as I went overseas. And
Yeah.
one of them, John Kokolakis, and Paul Bazomi was in the article that for USA Wrestling, but John Kokolakis is the one that really started the whole ball rolling.
Very good. Very good. Well, thanks, Tony. Just hang on, and we'll be right with you on the other side here.
Okay. Thanks again.